Come in, settle down. Class is in session. Welcome to Fake It to Make It 101. Now, what is confidence, right? So when we talk about confidence, we're talking about the feeling of being sure of oneself and one's abilities, right? The words of a wise man, I don't know what man, but a wise one nonetheless. The actions of confidence come first. The feelings of confidence come later. So I like to think of confidence kind of like a skill, right? The more you practice it, the better you get at it, right? And I think a lot of people kind of fall short when it comes to understanding what confidence is or how to get confidence, right? Buckle up, class is in session. Welcome to Faking It to Make It 101. So we've established what confidence is, right? Let's talk about what tears confidence down, right? What diminishes confidence? 1, fear. 2, comparison. 3, doubt. What's important to remember is to switch our mindset of how we view these things, right? Of how we come to feel these things. So instead of fear, we're turning fear into curiosity, right? Instead of saying, oh, I'm scared of taking this big leap and making this big decision. So we're switching that to, okay, I'm excited for what's about to happen. I'm curious for what's to come, right? I'm excited. I'm ready for what's next, you know? Comparison. This one is the big one, I feel like. Comparison is the thief of joy. And we say this, but do we really know what this means, right? Like, when we compare ourselves to others, we're saying, okay, well, why can't I be like them? And don't get me wrong, I feel this way too. Like, look at Bad Baby. Like, the girl just turned 21 or 22, right? I think she's like my age or like a year older than me. But I don't have Bad Baby money, right? I could easily compare myself, say, okay, why am I not at the level where she's at, right? In terms of financial, whatever, status, wealth status, fame status, whatever. But ultimately, I can compare myself to her all day long, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. And truly, it never will matter, you know? And it's important to recognize when your brain gets into this mode of comparing to another person. Right? We see this in social media. Social media is not a real place. It is all fiction. Well, maybe not all fiction, right? But mostly fiction. Where people are choosing to share what parts about their lives to share with people, right? And the parts that they pick and choose may not always be the most truthful, right? They may be embellished. And that's just the reality of things. Not saying that it's the worst thing in the world, but there's power in acknowledging what's real and what's fake. Just concerning what you see and what you perceive versus what's actually reality. And comparison is a kicker too, right? Because you might be comparing your first chapter to someone's 30th. You truly never know someone else's path or journey in life. I think perception is the word of the year. Perception is the word of the century, actually. Because what you perceive, in turn, is your reality, right? So you have to change your perspective to change your reality. I'm dropping gems all 2025. Listen, open your ears. So how do we turn this big bad wolf comparison into something positive, right? The answer is appreciation. It's possible to acknowledge someone's differences, able to acknowledge where someone else is in life, and it may be different from where you are, right? But also appreciating the differences in other people that we have around us, right? Because if everyone looked the same, like, that'd be mad boring, wouldn't it? That would be mad boring. And the last one, what do we do with doubt, right? So we turn doubt into action. And I'm really preaching to myself. Like, I'm preaching to y'all, but I'm preaching to myself too. So instead of having what if this goes wrong or what if that goes wrong, change the mindset, reframe your mindset. But what if it went right though? What if everything does work out? What happens then? So we've talked about what tears down confidence, right? How do we build confidence back up? Because it's hard. Number one thing, before anything else, you have to recognize your strengths and your weaknesses. Where you excel, where you fall short. I think self-awareness is the biggest thing. There's power in being able to say, that's not my strong suit, but I can help in other areas where I am strong. Circling back, it comes full circle in appreciating others' differences. You may fall short in something that someone else excels in, right? You never know. Give yourself grace. Be kind to yourself. I know it's hard to fail and make mistakes, especially in retrospect. You look back at those mistakes, be like, why did I do that? Like, what was I thinking? What was going through my head at that moment? Whole time you can't even figure it out. Whole time you don't even have an answer. Give yourself grace. Understanding that as humans, we aren't perfect. We're gonna make mistakes. We're gonna fall short. What you do with those mistakes that matter is, are you growing from those mistakes? Are you letting those mistakes hinder you? Challenge yourself. Not just in actions, but in thoughts too. Challenge yourself. Take risks. Things that you wouldn't normally do. Within reason, of course. I'm not telling you to jump off a bridge. Don't do that. Do things that are outside of your comfort zone, things that you wouldn't normally do. And challenge negative thoughts. If you notice yourself being unnecessarily negative, challenge your thoughts. Be like, damn, why am I thinking like this? You know what? Let me reframe the way that I'm thinking so I'm not so negative. And I think in turn, thinking negative makes you feel negative. Thinking positive makes you feel more positive. And when you think positive, you act positive. Actions and thoughts are all connected. Not in every thought, obviously, because as a whole, you're not your thoughts, right? Encourage yourself. Celebrate your wins. If you don't celebrate your wins, who else is going to do it for you? Really and truly. You have to set the tone in how you encourage, celebrate, and appreciate yourself, right? For others to see. Last but not least, you have to be your own biggest fan. Have to be. If you aren't, what are you doing? What are you doing? Some of y'all will root for celebrities more than you do your own self. it's a no-go. We're not doing that in 2025. No ma'am, no sir. No ma'am, no Pam, no ham. We're not doing that. Be your own biggest fan. Cheer yourself on. Celebrate your wins. Yeah, if I think of anything else, there might be a part 2. But last thing though, appreciate that everyone has a different journey, right? And appreciate that yours is unique to you. Be happy that we're not all the same. There's beauty in diversity. Class is dismissed. I hope y'all took notes. There's gonna be a pop quiz sometime next week. Y'all be smart, y'all be safe, y'all be blessed.